Welcome to What's Math. Please subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos. This video will focus on system of equation solved by elimination. Before I get into the lesson, I think it's important that we recap special cases when solving equations. Important. If all variables cancel out, that means there is no more variables, you need to stop. Why are we stopping? It's because to solve an equation, our goal is to find the value of the variable. If there's no more variables, then you cannot accomplish your goal. So what you want to do is to ask, are they equal? You want to know if both sides of the equation is equal. If you find yourself saying no, then the answer to that equation is no solution. If you find yourself saying yes, then the answer to that equation would be infinite solutions. Let's take a look at two examples. 6x equals to 6, open parentheses, x plus 5. To solve this equation, I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 6 to everything inside the parentheses. So now I'm going to have 6x equals 6x plus 30. I'm going to move the x on the right side by doing the undo operation. The opposite of positive 6x is negative 6x. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. They turn out to be additive inverse, so they cancel out each other. So therefore, I now have 0 equals to 30. There's no more variables, so I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask, is 0 equals to 30? And the answer is no. So therefore, the answer to this equation is no solution. Second example, 2x plus 9 is equal to 2x plus 9. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides because that would be the opposite of positive 2x. And now I end up with 9 equals to 9 because on both sides they were additive inverse and they cancel out each other once more. So now I'm going to ask myself, is 9 equals to 9? And the answer is yes. So for this equation, the answer would be infinite solutions. Solving system of equation by elimination. Step 1. Pick a variable to eliminate, your choice. Step 2. Interchange the coefficient of the variable and multiply the equations. You want to check the given sign on the chosen variable. If they are the same sign, you make one of the interchange coefficient negative. However, if they are different signs, keep both interchange coefficient positive. Step 3. Add the new equations and solve. Remember, you're always adding if you follow my steps. Step 4. Plug in the result and solve for the eliminated variable. Example. Solve by elimination. 5x plus 2y is equal to 7. 6x minus 3y is equal to 30. Let's remind ourselves of the steps. In this case, I'm going to choose to eliminate the x. So the only thing that is important to me is the coefficient on the x, which will be the 5 and the 6. I'm going to take a good look at those two coefficients, and I notice that both of them are positive, so they are the same sign. So because they are the same sign, when I interchange, one of them has to be negative. So if you notice, the 5 goes to the bottom and the 6 goes to the top, and I made the 5 outside negative. And once again, because both of them were positive when they gave me the equations, one of the interchange needs to be negative. I chose the bottom one. It doesn't matter if you put it in the top or the bottom, okay? I'm going to distribute, so it's going to be 6 times 5x, which is giving me 30x plus 12y equals to 42. I'm going to distribute the negative 5 to everything inside the parentheses, so it's going to be negative 30x plus 15y equals to negative 150. Please make sure you check your signs. Because I chose x, if you notice they became additive inverse. And when you add them, they cancel each other. Remember, we always add it. And now I'm left with 27y equals negative 108. To get rid of the coefficient of 27, I'm going to divide both sides by 27. So y is equal to negative 4. Now that I know the value for y, I can plug it into one of the equation and find the value for x. So I'm going to use the first one. So it would be 5x plus 2 times negative 4 equals to 7. So now I'm end up with 5x minus 8 equals to 7. I need to move that minus 8, so I'm going to add 8 to both sides. 5x is therefore equals to 15. I need to get rid of the coefficient of 5, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So x is therefore equals to 3. Now that we have a value for x and a value for y, I'm going to use the second equation to check my answer. So it's going to be 6 times 3 because x is 3 minus 3 times negative 4 because y is negative 4 equals to 30. And we notice that negative 3 times negative 4 will give me a positive 12. So it would be 18 plus 12 equals to 30. And that is true. So as a result, my solutions are correct. And remember, when you're writing your answer, x needs to be written first and y needs to be written second. So it would be 3 comma negative 4. Example, solve by elimination. 5x plus 2y equals to 7. 6x minus 3y is equal to 30. And I'm going to do this example for a second time. But in this case, let's remind us of the rules. Instead of choosing x, I chose y. So the only thing important to me are the coefficient on the y, so the positive 2 and the negative 3. If I analyze those two coefficients, one is positive, one is negative. They are not the same sign. So because they are not the same sign, both of the interchange coefficient need to be exactly the same sign. And we're going to make them keep them positive because it's easier to work with positive numbers. So the 3 goes to the top and the 2 goes to the bottom. Then we're going to distribute. So now I'm going to end up with 15x plus 6y equals to 21. I'm going to distribute the 2 to the bottom equation, and it's going to be 12x minus 6y equals to 60. And once again, if you notice, because I chose y, they became additive inverse. So when I add them, they disappear. They cancel out each other. Remember, we're always adding. So now I end up with 27x equals to 81. To get rid of the coefficient of 27, I'm going to divide by 27. So x is equal to 3. Now that I know the value for x, I can replace it into one of the equations to find the value for y. And I'm going to use the top one because it's all positive. So it'd be 5 times 3 plus 2y equals to 7 because x is 3. So 15 plus 2y is equal to 7. I need to move the positive 15, so I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. 2y is equal to negative 8. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 to remove the coefficient of 2. So y is therefore equal to negative 4. Now that we have a value for x and a value for y, we can plug it in to the second equation in this case and check our solution. So therefore, it's going to be 6 times 3 minus 3 times negative 4 equals to 30. And it's be 18 plus 12, which is equal to 30. And the answer is correct, which we already know because it's the same solution to the first time we did it by choosing x. And as you can see, it did not matter which variable you chose to eliminate. So it's your choice if you want to pick the x to eliminate or you want to pick the y to eliminate. Both at time, in both situations, the answer would be exactly the same. Check for understanding. Solve the system of equation by elimination. 7x plus 3y equals 6. 2x minus 5y is equal to negative 10. Solution. Solve by elimination. 7x plus 3y is equal to 6. 2x minus 5y is equal to negative 10. Let's remind ourselves of the steps. We have 7x plus 3y equals 6, and the 2x minus 5y equals to negative 10, and I'm choosing to eliminate x. So I chose the x in this situation. So the only coefficient that mattered to me is the 7 and the 2. If I take a good look, I notice that both are the same sign. They're both positive. So therefore, when I interchange, one of them on the outside needs to be negative. So the 2 goes to the top, the 7 goes to the bottom, and I make my 7 negative in the bottom. It doesn't matter if you make the 2 negative and keep the 7 positive. It's just a matter of preference. I'm going to distribute the 2 to everything in the parentheses. So now I'm going to end up with 14x plus 6y equals to 12. Then I'm going to distribute the negative 7 to everything inside the parentheses. Be careful with your signs. We have a negative 7 times a 2x, which will give me a negative 14x. A negative 7 times a negative 5y will give me a positive 35y. And a negative 7 times a negative 10 will give you a positive 30. And once again, because I chose the x, they came out to be additive inverse, so therefore they cancel. So it will be 41y equals to 82. I want to get rid of the coefficient of 41, so I'm going to divide it both sides by 41. So y is equal to 2. Now that I know that y is equal to 2, I need to plug it into one of the equations and solve for x. So we know that we can use the top one because it's positive. They're all positive. It is easier to work with positive numbers. So we have 7x plus 3 times 2 because y is 2 equal to 6. 7x plus 6 is equal to 6. We need to move the 6 on the left, so we're going to do the opposite, which is to subtract 6 from both sides. And we end up with 7x equal to 0. It is perfectly fine to have 0 as an answer. Now I need to get rid of the 7, the coefficient of 7. So the opposite is to divide both sides by 7. So x is equal to 0. Now that we have the answer for x, we have an answer for a value for y. We're going to plug it into the second equation to check my solutions. So it'll be 2 times 0 minus 5 times 2 equals to negative 10. So 0 minus 10 is equal to negative 10, and that is true. So therefore, my answer is 0, 2. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click that little bell for further notification when I post new videos. Like and share my videos. And if you like what you saw in this video, please buy me a cup of coffee. You don't have to, it's not mandatory, but thank you in advance.